Have you ever wondered what lurks in the smoke that curls around your soul? What ancient whispers are carried in the tendrils of a plant that has been both worshipped and reviled for thousands of years? Let me tell you, you have been lied to. There is something you have never been taught, a secret that has been hidden beneath layers of fear, misunderstanding, and deliberate forgetfulness. You have been told that this humble herb is a mere drug, an escape, a convenience for idle minds. But what if I told you that what you believe is wrong? What if I told you that beyond the haze of chemical illusions lies a doorway, a gateway, a mirror that reveals your truest self, your deepest wounds, and your greatest potential? You have always held the key, and yet you have been taught to be afraid of it, to turn away from it, to dismiss it as mere indulgence. Listen closely, because this is your wake-up call. Beneath the surface of this green plant lies a legacy older than the pyramids, older than the myths of forgotten gods. This is not a new toy of modern culture, not a trend that flickers in the neon glow of convenience stores. For 5,000 years and more, cannabis has been a sacred tool in the hands of mystics, healers, poets, and visionaries. It has been used to anoint, to connect, to awaken the soul from the slumber of daily life. The stories of its power are woven into the fabric of humanity's spiritual quest, from the ancient priests who burned it as incense to the seekers who sat beneath moonlit skies, inhaling its essence to hear the whispers of the divine. But this knowledge has been hidden, buried beneath centuries of propaganda, fear, and cultural amnesia. They have tried to erase it from your memory, to tell you it is nothing more than a substance of sin, of rebellion, of escape. But the truth cannot be erased. It lies in your breath, in your blood, in the flicker of intuition that knows there is more to this world than what meets the eye. What if what you believe is wrong? What if cannabis is not the villain in the story, but the key to a door that has always stood waiting, patient as the stars, for you to turn the handle? The old ways knew this. In the temples of India, the sages prepared it with reverence, chanting mantras to align the mind with the sacred. In the deserts of the Middle East, it was a companion to prophets and poets who sang of mysteries that cannot be spoken. In the heart of Africa, the wise ones used it to commune with spirits, to travel between the worlds of the living and the dead. These were not stoners in a smoky room, but keepers of a secret. Cannabis is a mirror. It does not decide for you. It does not command or demand. It simply reflects, amplifies, magnifies the frequency you already carry in your soul. And that is where the danger and the promise lie, hand in hand. In the modern world, you have been taught to consume without thought, to treat this ancient plant as a product on a shelf, as a ticket to temporary pleasure or escape. You have been conditioned to forget the old ways, the ceremonies, the intentions, the prayers. You have been seduced by convenience, lulled by the siren song of easy highs that promise release but offer only illusions. The sacred has become profane, the ritual replaced by consumption without purpose, without awareness. What was once an instrument of transformation has become another tool of forgetfulness. But you must not forget. You must remember that the power of this plant does not lie in the plant itself, but in the one who wields it, in you. Cannabis is not a cure-all, nor is it a curse. It is a gateway, a tool, a mirror that waits for you to decide how to use it. Will you let it lead you deeper into your own illusions, your own confusion, or will you let it reveal the places in your soul that you have long ignored? Because it will show you both. It does not distinguish between light and darkness. It only echoes back the frequency you send out. In the absence of intention, in the absence of ritual, It becomes a hollow vessel that reflects your own emptiness. But with awareness, with reverence, with the simple power of presence, it can become a bridge to the places within you that you have always known but never dared to visit. There is a reason that every ancient culture that worked with this plant wove it into a ritual. Ritual is the container. It is the compass that keeps you from getting lost in the mists of your own mind. Without ritual, without community, without the sacred frame that holds the experience, cannabis is just another distraction in a world of distractions. It is not the plant that creates chaos, but the absence of your own presence. You must become the container, the keeper of the flame, because cannabis will not save you. It will only show you what you are already carrying, the hidden fears, the unspoken dreams, the echoes of your ancestors that live in your bones. Do not be fooled by the noise of the modern world, the dispensaries that promise you enlightenment in a glass jar, the influencers who flaunt it as a lifestyle accessory. These are but shadows of the real thing. True connection, true awakening, does not come from a product, it comes from a relationship. And relationship begins with respect, with intention, with the willingness to sit in the silence of your own being and ask the questions that have no easy answers. What do you seek? What are you running from? What are you willing to see when the mirror is held up to your soul? You see, cannabis is neither saint nor sinner. It is a tool, a reflection, a doorway that you must open with your own hands. It has no moral compass, no allegiance to your stories or your fears. It simply resonates with you, with your thoughts, your desires, your wounds. When you enter its embrace unconsciously, you enter your own chaos, your own shadows. When you enter it with awareness, with humility, with the trembling reverence of one who knows they stand at the threshold of something greater, you enter the possibility of transformation. It is not about the plant, it is about you. It always has been. The silent revolution begins with a single person, you. It is not a revolution of noise or slogans or empty promises, but of resonance. One person becomes clear, and then 10, and then the whole community begins to remember what was forgotten. The rituals return, the sacredness returns. And in that remembrance, the plant becomes again what it was always meant to be: a bridge, a prayer, a song that carries the soul to the place where it can hear the voice of the divine once more. You do not need a guru to lead you there. You do not need an expensive retreat or a new brand of incense to unlock the door. You only need to bring your own presence, your own breath, your own willingness to be honest with yourself. Begin with small rituals. Light a candle. Sit in silence. Let your breath become a prayer. Let your intention be your guide. You do not need to know all the ancient chants or memorize the secret names of gods. The secret is already in you. It has always been there, waiting for you to remember. Cannabis is a mirror. What you see in it is what you have brought with you. It does not decide. It does not judge. It only shows you yourself in all your beauty, all your confusion, all your possibility. And in that reflection lies both the danger and the promise. The danger if you enter without awareness, without respect, without the willingness to see. The promise if you enter as one who knows they stand at the threshold of mystery, as one who understands that true power lies not in the plant, but in the one who chooses to see. You have been taught to seek answers outside of yourself, to look to the experts, the authorities, the endless parade of opinions that swirl around you like a fog. But in the end, all of them are only echoes of your own voice, distorted and refracted until you forget that the truest voice is the one that whispers from within. You have always held the key, though they have tried to convince you that the door is locked. In the ancient world, this was never a question. The wise ones knew that cannabis was not a teacher in the conventional sense, not a savior to carry you across the threshold. It was a guide, a catalyst, a magnifying glass that made your soul's contours clearer, more vivid, more undeniable. They did not worship the plant itself, but the spaces it opened within the human heart. The plant is ancient, but it is not infallible. It has no will of its own. It does not choose light over darkness, nor does it care for the stories you tell yourself about who you are and who you might be. It simply listens, and then it speaks, in colors, in feelings, in the silent music that echoes in the chambers of your mind. It will amplify what is already there. If you bring confusion, it will magnify confusion. If you bring reverence, it will become a bridge to the sacred. And so, you must choose. Every time you inhale, every time you let its spirit enter your body, you are choosing the frequency that will resonate through you. This is the silent contract that the ancient ones knew you're always responsible for what you carry. Modern life has forgotten this. In a world that prizes instant gratification and effortless pleasure, the ritual has been stripped away. The container has been forgotten. The plant, once a sacrament, has become a commodity. In this forgetting lies the greatest danger. For when the sacred is reduced to the mundane, the door to the soul becomes just another product on a shelf. But you are not a consumer of your own soul. You are the guardian of its mysteries, the keeper of the keys. And so you must remember what was lost, the ritual, the intention, the sacred pause that turns consumption into communion. What is ritual, if not a way of reminding yourself that every act can be sacred? It is not about elaborate ceremonies or arcane symbols. It is about the quality of your attention, the sincerity of your intention. It is about the way you hold the plant in your hands, the way you breathe, the way you listen to the subtle shifts of energy that ripple through you. Even a single breath can become a prayer if you give it your full presence. Even a single exhale can become a doorway if you are willing to let it open what you have kept locked away. You see, the plant has always been a mirror. In ancient times, it was used to commune with the divine, to peel back the layers of illusion and touch the living pulse of creation. It was never meant to be an escape from reality, but a deeper entry into it. In those sacred spaces, the plant was not an end, but a beginning, a spark that could ignite the fire of your own awakening. But in the absence of ritual, in the absence of respect, it becomes just another way to numb the senses, to drift further from the quiet voice that calls you home. This is the hidden truth that you were never taught. Cannabis is not here to save you from yourself. It is here to reveal you to yourself. And that revelation can be both terrifying and beautiful, depending on the stories you choose to believe. You have been told to fear this plant, to treat it as an enemy, an outlaw. But what if I told you that the only enemy is your own, the forgetting of your own power, your own ability to choose how you will walk through the doorway that the plant opens? It does not decide for you. It only reveals. The echoes of the past still linger, like ancient songs that only the soul can hear. In the shadows of history, there are whispers of the ones who knew the healers who prepared it with reverence, the seers who used it to pierce the veils of ordinary sight, the poets who let its breath weave words that reached beyond language. They knew that cannabis is a tool, and like any tool, it can build or it can destroy. The choice has always been yours. In the chaos of the modern world, the call to remember has never been more urgent. We live in a time of forgetting our roots, our purpose, our sacred connection to the earth and to each other. The plant has become a product, stripped of its mystery, sold as a promise of easy pleasure. But pleasure without meaning is a fleeting ghost. It leaves you emptier than before. You must reclaim the sacred in the simple, the profound in the ordinary. The plant waits for you to remember. What is it that you seek when you turn to cannabis? Is it an escape, a numbing of the relentless noise of your own mind, or is it a deeper truth, a longing for something that cannot be spoken but only felt? The answer lies not in the plant, but in the one who approaches it, in you. It has always been this way. You are the vessel, the alchemist, the one who decides whether the smoke will be a shroud or a prayer. And so I tell you, approach with reverence. Do not let the casual disregard of modern culture infect your own relationship with this ancient ally. Light the candle, breathe with intention. Let the silence be your teacher. When the smoke curls around you, let it be a reminder of the breath that carries you through this life, the breath that is both mundane and miraculous. Let it be a reflection of your own willingness to see what lies beneath the surface of things. The plant is a doorway. What you find on the other side is what you have brought with you. It does not care for your masks, your justifications, your polished illusions. It sees the soul, raw and unadorned. And that is why it can be so powerful and so dangerous. Because most of us are not ready to see ourselves so clearly. We prefer the comforting fog of forgetfulness. But you, who are listening to this, you have been called to something deeper. You have felt the quiet pulse of truth that runs beneath the noise of the world. You have always held the key. In the ancient ways, there was no separation between the plant and the prayer. They were one. The ritual was not about the plant itself, but about the space it opened within the human heart. The plant was a bridge. The prayer was the path. And in that path, there was no room for casual consumption or careless indulgence. Everything mattered. Every gesture was a reflection of the soul's longing for the divine. Do you feel that longing in yourself, that quiet ache that cannot be silenced by distraction or consumption? That is the call. That is the doorway. Cannabis can be a companion on that journey, but it is not the destination. The destination is the place within you that has never been touched by forgetfulness, the place that remembers the ancient songs, even if your conscious mind has forgotten them. The plant can help you hear those songs again, if you let it. But it is you who must choose to listen. The silent revolution begins in the heart of one who remembers. It is not about overthrowing governments or defying laws. It is about reclaiming the sovereignty of your own consciousness. It is about remembering that you are not here to be a passive consumer of experience, but an active participant in the unfolding of your own soul. The plant can be a catalyst for that remembrance, but it cannot do the work for you. That is your task, and yours alone. So, I say to you, let your use of cannabis be a ritual, not a habit. Let it be a choice that you make with intention, not an escape you stumble into without thought. Let it be a mirror that you approach with humility, knowing that what you see will be the truest reflection of who you are in this moment. And if what you see is chaos, then let that be the beginning of your work, not the end. Because in that chaos lies the seed of clarity, the seed of awakening. You must understand that the power of this plant does not come from its chemical composition or the fleeting highs it offers, but from the way it awakens the places within you that have long been asleep. The ritual is the key that turns the simple act of consumption into a doorway to the soul. It is the silence that follows the exhale, the pause that opens the space where the voice of the sacred can be heard. Without that ritual, the plant is a hollow echo, a trick of the senses that fades as quickly as it comes. But with ritual, with intention, it becomes a song that never ends, a note that resonates in the chambers of your being, long after the smoke has cleared. Do you feel it? That quiet stirring beneath the surface of your thoughts, the knowing that there is something more, something deeper waiting for you to remember. That is the truth that has always been there, hidden beneath the stories you have been told. You have been taught to fear this truth, to doubt it, to turn away from it. But the ancient ones knew that the only real danger is in forgetting. Forgetting that you are not a passive observer in this life, but an active co-creator of your own destiny. The plant does not give you that power. It only reminds you that you have always had it. When you approach cannabis with awareness, with reverence, you step into a lineage that stretches back through time. You join the circle of seekers who have used this plant as a bridge to the unseen, a tool for hearing the whispers of the soul. And in that circle, there is no room for casual indifference or mindless consumption. There is only the quiet knowing that every breath, every intention, every heartbeat is part of the ritual. You become the ritual. You become the prayer. The modern world does not understand this. It sees only the surface, the flickering lights, and the easy laughter that come when the mind is lulled by the plant's gentle touch. But beneath that surface lies a deeper truth. The truth that the plant is an amplifier of what you already carry. It does not heal you. It does not harm you. It only reveals you to yourself. And in that revelation, you must decide what you will do with what you see. There is no shortcut to awakening. There is no magic herb that will carry you to the place you long to reach. Cannabis can open the door, but you must walk through it with your own feet, guided by the light of your own awareness. You must be willing to see the parts of yourself that you have hidden, the shadows you have denied, the wounds you have refused to heal. The plant will show you these things if you let it. It will hold up the mirror, and in that mirror, you will see not just your face, but the echoes of your ancestors, the dreams of your soul, the light that has never been extinguished. In the ancient ceremonies, the plant was not the center, but the catalyst. The center was always the soul, the unspoken mysteries that live within each of us. The ritual was the way of holding that mystery, of honoring it, of giving it the space to speak. And so I say to you, bring the ritual back. Let every act of consumption be a prayer. Let every breath be a reminder that you are not here to consume, but to create meaning, to create beauty, to create a life that is a reflection of the deepest truth within you. You have always held the key. It has never been about the plant. It has always been about you, your choices, your intentions, your willingness to remember what was forgotten. The plant is a gift, but it is not the answer. The answer lies in your own heart, in the quiet spaces where the voice of the divine can still be heard. If you are willing to listen, to truly listen, you will hear that voice in the rustle of the leaves, in the spiral of the smoke, in the silence that follows the last exhale. It is always there, waiting for you to remember. This is the silent revolution, not a battle fought with weapons or words, but a remembering that begins in the soul of one person. One person who chooses to bring awareness to every breath, every thought, every act. One person who refuses to be seduced by the illusions of the world, who chooses instead to walk the path of presence, of reverence, of truth. And when that one person remembers, the echo of that remembering spreads like ripples on water, touching the hearts of others, awakening them to their own power. You do not need to seek the approval of others. You do not need to justify your path or explain your choices. The revolution is not about convincing others, but about becoming so clear, so rooted in your own truth, that your very being becomes a beacon. Others will see it. They will feel it. And in that silent resonance, the world begins to change, not through force, but through the quiet power of presence. The plant can be a companion on that journey, but it is not the journey itself. It is a reminder, a mirror, a doorway, and you are the one who must decide how you will walk through that door. Will you stumble through it blindly, driven by habit and unconscious desire? Or will you step through it with the steady grace of one who knows they stand on sacred ground? The choice is always yours. It has always been yours. When you inhale, do so with the awareness that you are breathing in more than smoke. You are breathing in the echoes of ancient prayers, the songs of those who came before you. You are breathing in the memory of the earth itself, the green pulse that connects all living things. Let that breath be a blessing, not a burden. Let it be a reminder that you are part of something vast and timeless, something that cannot be sold or bought or reduced to a product. The plant is not the source of that mystery. It is only a doorway to it. The source is within you, in the quiet center of your being, in the still point where the noise of the world falls away and the voice of truth speaks in the language of silence. That voice is your birthright. It has always been there, waiting for you to remember, and the plant can help you remember, if you let it. But remember this, the plant does not choose for you. It does not decide whether you will use its gifts to awaken or to escape. It only echoes back what you bring to it. If you bring confusion, it will become a maze. If you bring clarity, it will become a compass. The plant is neutral, a mirror that reflects the frequency of your soul. And so you must choose, with every breath, what frequency you will carry. You have been lied to, told that the plant is the problem, that it is the source of chaos or the cure for all ills. But the truth is simpler and more profound. The plant is only a tool. You are the source of both the chaos and the healing. You are the one who decides whether the smoke will be a shroud or a song. And in that decision lies the power to reclaim what was lost, the power to remember that you are not here to consume, but to create. Begin with small rituals. Light a candle before you inhale. Sit in silence. Let your breath become a prayer. Your exhale a surrender to the mystery. Do not seek to escape the world, but to enter it more deeply. To see it with the clear eyes of one who knows that every moment is sacred. You do not need a temple or a guru. The temple is your own body. The guru is the quiet voice that speaks when you are willing to listen. Let that voice guide you. Let that voice remind you. You have always held the key. It has never been about the plant, or the ritual, or the stories you have been told. It has always been about you, your willingness to be honest with yourself, to see what lies beneath the surface, to step into the unknown with the courage of one who knows they are already whole. The plant can help you remember, but it cannot do the remembering for you. That is your task, your journey, your sacred responsibility. The plant has waited for you to remember, and now it stands before you, as it has stood before countless souls who came before. It does not speak in words, yet it speaks in every breath you take, in the warmth of your chest as you draw it in the tremor of possibility that stirs your soul. You have always known, deep down, that this was never about the plant itself. It was always about you, your readiness to face the truth that lives within, the courage to turn your gaze inward and see not just the light, but the shadows as well. This is the truth that has been hidden beneath centuries of misunderstanding. The plant is a mirror. It is a gateway to what is already within you. In the ancient temples, it was known that the body itself is the first temple, the vessel that carries the spark of the divine. Cannabis was only ever meant to be an offering at the altar of your own soul, a way to peel back the layers of noise and confusion, to hear once again the quiet pulse of what is real. But in this modern age of endless chatter and distraction, the plant has become a thing to be consumed, an object stripped of its mystery and reverence, and so you must choose to become the one who remembers. You do not need elaborate ceremonies or ancient chants to restore the sacredness that has been lost. You only need to bring your full attention to the moment you stand in, to the breath that carries you deeper into the truth of who you are. Every breath can become a prayer if you allow it to. Every inhalation can be an invitation for clarity. Every exhalation, a surrender to the mystery that holds you. The plant is not a cure, nor is it a curse. It is an amplifier, a magnifier, a lens through which you can see what has always been there, waiting for you to remember. And so, I say to you, come to the plant not as a consumer, but as a seeker. Come not with the hunger of one who wishes to escape, but with the quiet reverence of one who knows they stand in the presence of something older and wiser than the fleeting illusions of this world. Come with your questions, your fears, your longing for something deeper, but come also with your willingness to see beyond the smoke, to the heart of what has always been true. You will not find the answers in the plant itself. You will find them in the spaces it opens within you, in the echoes it sends back from the depths of your own soul. You will find them in the stillness that follows the last exhale, in the soft silence where the voice of your own heart can finally be heard. The plant is only a doorway. You are the one who must decide whether you will walk through it with your eyes open, or stumble in blindfolded by the illusions you cling to. Do not let the noise of the world drown out the quiet voice that calls you home. The dispensaries and the influencers, the bright lights and the easy promises, these are only distractions if you forget the sacredness that has always been yours to claim. Let your use of this plant be an act of remembrance, a way of honoring the ancient lineage that lives in your breath, your blood, your bones. Let it be a practice of awakening, not of escape. Begin simply. Sit in silence. Let the plant's spirit enter you like a prayer, not like a product. Feel the weight of your own intention, the quiet power of your own awareness. Let the smoke become a bridge, not a barrier, a way to see more clearly, not to cloud your vision. And if what you see is difficult, if what you see shakes the foundations of who you thought you were, know that this is the true gift, the chance to become more than the sum of your fears, more than the echoes of a world that has forgotten what it means to be alive. This is your silent revolution, not to change the world by force, but to change the frequency of your own being, so that every breath you take becomes an offering to the sacred, so that every time you stand before the plant, you do so with the knowledge that you are not here to consume, but to co-create, that you are not here to numb yourself, but to awaken. And in that awakening, you become the spark that lights the fire in others, the quiet beacon that reminds them of what they, too, have forgotten. You do not need to shout it from the rooftops. You do not need to convince anyone else of your truth. Let your life be your message. Let your clarity, your presence, your unshakable reverence for the mystery be the way you speak to the world. The plant can be part of that message, but it is only one thread in the tapestry of your awakening. It will show you what you bring to it, and it will show you what you are ready to see. Do not be afraid of what it reveals. The shadows are only there because of the light. The confusion is only there because of the clarity that waits on the other side. Let the plant be your mirror. Let it show you what you need to see, not what you want to see. And then let that seeing become your practice, your ritual, your quiet revolution. You have always held the key. The world will tell you otherwise. It will tell you that you need permission, that you need the right tools, the right teachers, the right set of beliefs to awaken. But the truth is simpler and more profound. You need only your own presence, your own willingness to be here, now, with all that you are and all that you are becoming. The plant can be a guide, but it is your breath, your awareness, your intention that will carry you to the places you long to reach. This is what has been hidden from you, what you were never taught, that the true ritual is not in the smoke or the flame, but in the quiet way you choose to walk through the world. That every step you take can be a prayer if you let it. That every breath can be a doorway if you have the courage to walk through it. The plant can help you remember, but it cannot remember for you. That is the work of your soul, and it is work that only you can do. So I leave you with this, the final whisper of this ancient truth you have always held the key. The door has never been locked, only forgotten. Begin with yourself. Begin with your breath, your awareness, your simple willingness to see what lies beneath the surface of your own being. Let the plant be a companion on that journey, but do not let it become the journey itself. The journey is yours alone, and it begins the moment you choose to remember. You have been lied to, but now you know the truth. The plant is a tool, a mirror, a portal, but it is you who decides how it will be used. It is you who decides whether it will be an escape or an awakening. And in that decision lies the quiet power to reclaim what has always been yours. The sovereignty of your own soul. The sacredness of your own life. The remembering of what it means to be fully, fiercely alive. This is your call to action to bring the ritual back, not as an empty performance, but as a living reminder that every moment is sacred, that every breath is a chance to begin again. Let your use of cannabis be a prayer, a practice, a way of seeing beyond the illusions of a world that has forgotten how to see. Let it be an act of remembrance, a way of honoring the ancient knowledge that lives in your bones. Let it be the key that opens the door to the mystery that has always waited for you. Patient as the stars, unshaken by the noise of the world. And when you stand at that threshold, do so with the quiet knowing that you are not alone, that you are part of a lineage that stretches back through time, a lineage of seekers and healers and visionaries who understood that the sacred is not something outside of you, but something that lives within you, waiting for you to remember. Let the plant be your guide, but let your own soul be your compass. You have always held the key. The doorway is open. Begin with yourself, and from there, the world will change.